Welcome to Newcastle #1 Sports Ground for this Black Diamond Cup fixture between Newcastle City and the Singleton football clubs. David Redding with you, and as always, my co-commentator and partner in commentary, Lucas Holmes.
Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And what turns out to be a picturesque afternoon here at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground, David. It's turned out to be quite an amazing afternoon here with the sun now beaming out all across Newcastle.
It's a magnificent day. It's just, when we got here, it was cloudy and overcast and average. And at the moment, it's glorious. Lucas is fixing up the live scoring. We'll get that sorted quickly. For mine, fascinating for Newcastle City to see Anthony Baker back playing football, Lucas Holmes.
And it's great to see, David, as we were talking about before off air, one of the 2 or 3 premier on-ballers we've seen in the past here in this region. It's great to have a player of that calibre back in the competition.
Certainly is. Newcastle City, number 2, Mac O'Malley, 4, Stephen Batten, 5, Luke Rawnsley, 7, Connor Haswell, 8, Joe O'Donoghue, 10, Hugh Blanchfield, 13, Mitchell Knight, 14, Kate Triffett, 15, Ian Baker, 17, Ethan Durbridge, Jackson Crawford, 19, Cam Keys, 23, Jack Boyer, Aboya, 26, Liam Dyer, 24, Liam Dyer, 26, Anthony Baker, 28, Hugh Kelleher, 30, Jack Woodham's a late in and 35, Max Quinlan, 38, Rick Jackson, 39, Noel McDonald, 45, Kevin McDonald, 48, Brady Swetnam, 77, Lucas Holmes.
The Singleton Australian Football Club, David, 1, Luke Draper, 2, Chris Forder, 6, Andrew Scott, 7, Zach Thompson, 8, Jamie Hancock, 13, Alex Mitchell, 15, Will Brayshaw, 16, Cam White, 17, Josh Eade, 18, Josh Long, 19, Sam Howard, 20, Alex Tagani, 21, Zach Bray, 23, Matt Cornelius, 24, Cam McClellan, 25, Mitch Gaffney, 26, Brandon Partridge, 27, Conrad Smith, 28, Jared Ingram, and 29, Dylan Hickson, David. And the umpires today, field umpires David Parsons, Lincoln McCauley, Sam O'Brien, boundary umpires Simon McCauley, Miles McCauley, goal umpires Nelly Biden and Chris Burrows.
Just wondering what the players are doing. Yeah, community umpire around Lucas Holmes. Everybody's going to shake the umpire's hands. Shake his other hands. Very good initiative there. Great to see. So everyone shaking hands, particularly with the umpires. And as the AFL broadcast that tour this weekend, it's great to see everybody getting involved. Interestingly, you wonder whether Essendon fans would be wanting to shake hands with the umpires after Anzac Day. It was an interesting last quarter, Lucas Holmes, I thought.
It was quite a nail-biting 5 minutes, as we found out straight after the game we broadcasted on Anzac Day, David. But close win in the end. It was good to get a win over another traditional rival in the end, David, but onwards and upwards.
Indeed.
And on the point of umpires too, David, a massive congratulations goes out to NCAA president and goal umpire Jake Lowe, who's umpiring his 250th game this afternoon, David, at Fane Oval.
Wonderful to see. Jake was here earlier on, and we congratulated him on air. And he's off to the United States on holiday shortly, and his whole holiday is predicated. He wants to try and meet Donald Trump. Donald Trump's one of his personal heroes. So if you're listening to real Donald Trump, you've got a big fan over here in our own president. 250 game, and that's an amazing performance. Jake Lowe, wonderful. Great to see, and good man, good family, and we just hope that he has a good day today over there at Fane.
It was a laid out over there as well. I believe Luke McKenna was out, David.
Good afternoon, punters, and welcome to the Sports Ground, where Newcastle City Blues are against the Singleton Roosters. What a great day for footy. Big shout out to all our sponsors here at Newcastle City Blues Football Club. We have the Crocomole Hotel, Stage the Painters, Rainfed Beers, and Unstructured. Get ready to work for a great day of footy.
Ground announcing has finished, and Lucas Holmes and I are back with you, just about ready to go in quarter number 1. Lucas James has been in Bathurst this week, getting a bit cold at night up there in the central tablelands, I reckon.
Starting to get a bit cool, David. Looked like we got a bit of rain through there in the last evening or two as well, which is great to hear and hopefully great to see.
Yeah, significant parts of southern New South Wales, in particular further south where you live, have got big boys rain, 3-4 inches. Now, with them having sowed recently, there's a real chance that we might get some crops. It's been dreadfully dry, and let's just hope that there's more rain when they need it. So, when the bush is well, the state's well, Lucas. So,
sure is, David.
And away we go. First contest, Mitchell Knight reads it best, as you would imagine. Ball comes out, Combox wing. Handball, Connor Haswell. Out here to O'Donoghue, screws that back in his left foot. And a very easy mark. I reckon that's Triffett in 14. Wait for him to turn around. It is Cade Triffett, an early mark. Deep in the forward line. Mitchell Knight's come straight off, which is interesting. He's literally come straight off after that first possession. I wonder if he's done a dislocated finger. Triffett, well inside the arc here. Okay, Triffett, I think that's off to the right and it's behind. Newcastle City behind, Singleton yet to score. Lauren Jackson from the AFL HEC, hello, how are you? Thank you for your gifts and clothing for us. Picked off Haswell. Goes square, open side towards Keast. Kevin McDonald, left-hand handball. Has he kicked that? He has. Now, if I can just go back and see who that was, I think it was Crawford. Just waiting on that. Yes, Jackson Crawford's kicked that one. What a start. It was just easy. Just cruising from a very tight angle. He's kicked an amazing goal. Newcastle City 1-1-7. Singleton yet to score. How was netball this morning, Lauren? Busy? There's a lot of people around here playing netball. There's thousands of them at this complex. So. Tapped out. Throw in favoured Thompson. Left footer goes forward. Where are they at ground level? Tapped out there by Howard. Good tackle put in there. Scott puts the body on the line. No, it wasn't Scott. That was possibly McClelland in 24. Coming forward. Oh, lovely grab at the back. Short ball. Has to be perfect. The familiar figure of Andrew Scott delivers immaculately as always and hits Sam Howard back there in 19. Wide to Combox side. Got to take that mark, does. You did really well with his body there. Brayshaw, I reckon that might have been. Baker on his left foot. It's great to see him playing football again. I'm assuming, Lucas, he's a one-point player for Newcastle City, which is probably why he's playing. Lovely handball comes out. Baker backing up. Oh, if he's taken that mark, that's sensational. Now dropped it. Haswell, good tackle. Just dawdled a bit. Oh, good one-hander there. Bray. Well played, Megan. Good effort. Well done. At the back here, Rawnsley goes forward with the left footer. Needs to get a handball out. Does. Keith sitting on his own. That's dangerous. Batten. Goes square. McDonald on a lead. And Kevin McDonald, given space, is a dangerous concept. And he's not getting any small in the upper body, Lucas. He's still a hulking man.
Perfect size for a key forward, Kevin McDonald. We found that out a few years ago here. And that was the lady in Jake Woodhams with the hands off the ground here on the half forward flank, David, with the headband. Yep.
McDonald, low ball.
Near
off
side.
To the right. Thank you. Newcastle City 1-2-8, Singleton yet to score. Lucas, representative football in a fortnight's time on Bar TV. Can't wait for that.
Sure is, David. Back at Pastersfield.
Back at Pastersfield. Good mark, Scott. In my mind, Andrew Scott in the top 3 players in the league. Just a superb player. And Lucas and I have called some representative football, and when you see Andrew Scott play rep foot at that next level, as we haven't got that player's number, so we might get you to do a bit of scouting for us at quarter time, Louis. 15 is Brayshaw, gets rid of it. Singleton trying hard here. Ball gets tapped out. Baker again being tapped out. Someone needs to pick it up. No interfering with the low, which is remarkable. Baker. Scott in and under, as he so well does so well. Batten puts him to ground. Right on centre wing. Tap out Singleton. Pop Mitchell in 13. like he's had a busy pre-season. He's big in that. He's certainly done some work in his upper body. Alex Mitchell looks quite strong in the upper body to mine. Scott can't take that tap out with the rules at ruck level. 13 was Pup Mitchell, gets that out. Beautifully read by Bowyer. Oh, lovely work by Liam Dwyer. Good speed. Crawford. Beautiful lead. Now that's Woodham's, I reckon. Lucas, would you mind just going to a bit of church while this kick is coming in? Just looking at 5 and 14 for Singleton, if we've got those numbers on our sheet, please. Woodham's going check side here. Looks like he's got a fair bit of that behind. So Newcastle City 1-3-9. And Singleton yet to score. Clock doing all sorts of wonderful things for Lucas Holmes again. Thank you, Louis. Good mark there, Max Quinlan. However, his kick's errant. Comes off the chest. McDonald loitering with intent. Can't pick it up. Mitchell Knight puts the body on the line. Draper for Singleton. Gets that ball down the wing. Quinlan will mark that comfortably. 50, I think. That's 50 metres, encroaching over the mark. And Max Quinlan's going to have... Max Quinlan might end up in the square here. So... our information is actually correct. So there's a 15 and a 14 and a 5. Is that correct, Lucas? Yeah, we'll get that sorted. Max Quinlan, 20 metres out. Should make no mistake. Doesn't. Goal Max Quinlan. Very talented young player. Newcastle City 2-3-15. Singleton yet to score. Lucas James Holmes.
Hunter Haval, looking for a feature-packed premium SUV for your family? Check out Hunter Haval Maitland and Brian Hilton Haval North Gosford for the range of affordable SUVs. Book your test drive today.
Newcastle City for mine. Lucas Holmes already looking ominous. You wonder how Singleton's going to get an avenue to goal. So it's 5 and 14 are the two numbers we've got, isn't it, Louis, that we're not sure of?
Correct.
And we've got all team sheets and everything, so it just might have been a couple of late changes there for Singleton. We'll research that for you. We do apologise. Infraction at the square. It should be a warning. It's a Singleton player in folder. I've just spotted that at the right.
Yep.
That shouldn't be a free kick. That's Singleton's warning. So Singleton now on no more players transgressing at the centre bounces for the rest of the day. Tap comes out. Scott trying to read. Handball, quick handball comes out. Oh, good hip and shoulder, Mitchell. Really good. Crawford in 19. Dumps it forward. Mark, Kevin McDonald. And already, Lucas Holmes, this is looking like it's going to be a tough day at the office for the Roosters.
It was just simple there from Jackson Crawford. David sniping at the foot, at the feet as good on ballers do, and then Kevin McDonald being in front was a recipient from a ball-like pass.
McDonald, 35 metres out, straight over the umpire's hat. Kevin McDonald's first goal today. Newcastle City 3-3-21. Singleton yet to score. Lucas Holmes.
Belmont 16-footer Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16 is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. For all the latest news and promotions, visit 16s.com.au or find us on Facebook, the home of the AFL Hunter Central Coast.
Newcastle City up by 21 points. We think about 9 minutes after the live scoring had an epiphany again. We think about 9 minutes gone in quarter number 1 here at Newcastle Sports Ground with Kendall Clawson on production and camera, Lucas James Holmes in co-commentary. My name's David Reed. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Good tap out just in front of Thompson there. Baker sniping. Durbridge, low left foot is brilliant. They're just looking sharp today, Newcastle City, Louis. They really are. Probably being back at home. Triffett screws it back unselfishly, hot spot. Where are the Rovers? There's one. Haswell misses it. I think you'll find he'll play in the half-back line on the rep side there, Connor Haswell. Great tackle. Wonderful effort. Andrew Scott cleaning up. Left-hand handball. Shows that usual poise of his. Dropped. Dwyer. Can he make them pay? Short ball, finds Baker, 45 out. Looking for a short option. Hasn't got one yet. Looking to our left. It's very crowded. There's a short lead coming now. And that's Triffett. Baker was just waiting and waiting and waiting. And Newcastle City have freed Triffett up. Triffett's going to take this from 35 to 38 out. Lucas, moderate angle. Nothing too much to worry about. Should kick it, really, in this weather. It's a beautiful day here at West Newcastle. Glorious. Kate Triffett will be inside the arc.
Is he going to make it, David?
Touched on off hands there. Behind Newcastle City 3-4-22. Singleton yet to score. Short ball comes out. Andrew Scott on his own, deep in defence. Short, intercepted. Not Andrew Scott's best delivery. Half volley to Triffett. Gets it out. Scott trying to make amends. That's the unmistakable figure of Cam Keast. Hospital hand pass, picked off by Draper. Does well, Draper. Gets away, gets a long driving ball out to the wing. Beautiful work, Draper. Excellent, actually. Good football. Singleton's best patch today. Kelleher. Almost dragged that in. Could be gone there. Umpire says play on. Baker in 15. Scott in and under. Almost a push in the back, I thought. Baker. It's umpire Parsons, and he says that'll be mine. Lucas, some thoughts?
Still fairly tight in early, David. Andrew Scott getting his hands on the ball, but Newcastle City's ball movement has been nothing less than swift and almost perfect so far. Has that been out in the full? No. Umpire Parsons has called for umpire Simon McCauley to throw it in on the outer side.
Sorry, Luke.
No, just to say, just forward to centre wing for Newcastle City.
Thank you, Lucas. Make sure you join us during the halftime break. Lucas and I have what I'm calling Conversation Corner every halftime. We'll just sit there and have a chat and talk all things football, wherever we feel like, and whatever subjects we feel like. But Conversation Corner at halftime. Make sure you join us. Lucas has always got some thoughts on football. Good thinker out the game is our Louis. But Durbridge on his non-dominant side. Good. He almost marked that. Mitchell Knight, Sockers. Not to the advantage of Keast. Triffett. Should kick that, really. Missed it. Behind. Newcastle City, 3-5-23. One-way traffic at the moment. Singleton yet to score. Bar TV, 12.5 minutes gone in the first quarter here at a sun-drenched Newcastle and One Sports Ground. Lucas, I'll talk to you when I do get a break about the condition of this ground compared to what it was like when cricket finished. Yep. Baker. Lovely mark over his head. No, mate, that's a mark. Now, he usually goes short. No mistake. Mitchell Knight, well done eventually there. Good tackle as well.
Cornelius with the spoil there, David.
Thank you. McDonald in front. Can he do some work at ground level? Does. Get the handball out. Triffett's got a chance to snap. Doesn't. That's not 15.
It's Batten.
It's Stephen Batten. Good unselfish football, Newcastle City. Newcastle City 4-5-29. Singleton yet to score.
ISC have been at the cutting edge of designing and manufacturing apparel from grassroots to elite sporting teams for over 20 years, and they are proud to be the preferred apparel supplier of AFL Hunter Central Coast for the 2019 season, David.
Thank you, Lucas.
So, lovely ISC gear that we've just had delivered to us.
Yes, I'll have a bit of a look at that when we get a break. Thank you to Lauren Francis from AFL HCC for delivering that to us.
How's that for a segue?
Beautiful. You're the segue man, Lucas James. Just quickly, the condition of this ground's superb.
Yep.
And the cricket season, they got Corellas and cockatoos and they destroyed the surface of the ground. They've done a lot of work, Council. It's in great nick. It really is.
Just looks maybe a touch tacky, I haven't been out there, David, the square that is, just looking at it. But
when we've come here before, that pitches look like you could, if you prepared it for a day.
Yep.
Not today. That looks like a pitch that's 3 or 4 days away from playing because it's got some green in it. So, yes, there have been some slipping, to be honest. Handball out, Mitchell, lovely.
You can see from when we get a wide shot later on, the change in colour from the square to the normal grass.
Well, that's a push in the back.
Yep.
Straight push in the back. Woodhams. Short ball is awful. misses. O'Malley also gets wamboozled. Haswell. Scott head over the football. Familiar sight that is. Trip on Haswell, I reckon. Goes with the hands. Mitchell Knight, awful disposal, really, with not too much pressure. Scott handballs out. That's Smith. Conrad Smith goes forward. It's where they're falling down across the centre. Well done there by Hickson to make a big effort. Good contest. Hickson's done well to beat two men there. And it's 29 points to lead to Newcastle City. 10 minutes to go in this quarter. Queensland wins that ruck contest. Left-hand handball comes out. Thompson. Ball gets stumped forward. Jackson Crawford, fleet of foot. Misses McDonald by about a foot. Oh, great tackle. Haswell. Who's he got that handball out to? No one in particular. Bray. Singleton under all sorts of pressure here at the moment. Bray again off the ground. Effective. There's a number 10 out there as well, Lucas, so they've changed some serious numbers on us, I'll tell you. Driving ball coming forward. Should have really taken that, Woodhams. Had a chance. That ball had to be perfect and wasn't. This is where they're killing ground level. Oh, well done, however, Thompson. Oh, good tackle. No, it wasn't Thompson. That was Falder. Good step there. 14, who we don't know who that is. Mitchell Knight. Most unselfish to Connor Haswell. Good contest by Thompson, I think, out there. Short ball comes out. That's Blanchfield in 10. And he's kicked a goal. Good football, Newcastle City. They really are swarming with intent here today. Goal Hugh Blanchfield. City 5-5. Singleton yet to score.
Awards Are Us. Established over 25 years ago, Awards Are Us pride themselves on their ability to supply high-quality work and personal professional service. David and Lisa are experienced in fulfilling the most complex of needs for their clients. Special deals are available for all AFL Hunter Central Coast clubs. That was a perfect example then, David, of most of the Singleton players getting sucked into the ball. Perfect quarterback handball, and Blanchfield kicks a fairly easy goal from a standing start.
He does. Back to the centre. Cam Keast on the ball, along with Thompson. Keast gets it out with a big, strong right fist. Push off there. Well done, Blanchfield. Holding the ball, however. Mitchell. On the best and fairest middle a couple of years ago, Alex Mitchell. Over the shoulder, clearly. Put his head over the ball there. Well done, Brayshaw. A lot of Brayshaws playing the AFL at the moment. Andrew Scott's made space, looking directly into the sun. First time they've been inside 50, Singleton. Scott's going to go on his own. He's probably good enough to kick it just quietly. That's what he went for. And beautifully read by Bowyer. And away, Newcastle City will relaunch down this flank. Needs to take that mark. Doesn't. There's Jackson. Durbridge. That's almost 50. Yeah, I agree. Sweetenham. Short ball was unnecessary. Oh, good tackle, however. Needs to get that handball out. Well read, Kelleher. They're just under so much pressure, Singleton. One more handball, they're away. That's a throw. Not paid. Out from Smith. Got a couple of touches today. Blanchfield could have been played over the shoulder. Good tackle, Baker. And another tackle made. And the ball held up. 18 and a half minutes gone. Lucas Holmes.
Great contested football around. That's what some of the Singleton players are known for, as you say. Andrew Scott, Alex Mitchell as well, David. Cam Keys taking his turn in the ruck. Gets a nice left-handed tap down. Looking for Singleton to break here.
Cornelius does well. Needs to get rid of the ball now. Doesn't. And gone. Just too much time. Baker took that ball in front of the kick, but they've said play on. But McDonald. Now, this is when McDonald needs to get involved at ground level. Crawford. McDonald puts a tackle on. Good tackle on Draper. Gets a handball out. Out towards... Oh, lovely handball. 1-2 handball. We haven't got a number 10 in our sheet. We'll get that for you at quarter time. Lucas is going to be busy man. Crawford. Batten goes long. Inside the arc. Not quite. Almost a mark taken. All over the back, I would have thought. Not paid. Baker. Handballs it out. Gaffney. Copped an awful broken jaw last year. It's good to see him playing football again, Gaffney. Out from Howard, under all sorts of pressure. Scott, he'll do things in time. Beautiful step. Looks for options, ends up taking the most sensible one to Mitchell with a left-hand handball. Should have taken that mark. Oh, that's dragged out of it, I thought, against Tagani and paid. Back to Batten.
Batten surveying. What's he going to do? Goes long across the 50. No, it's been paid 50 metres.
Yep.
Descent?
No, over the mark.
Over the mark, okay.
Stay with it, Louis.
Thank you. Stephen Batten, the recipient of a 50-metre free kick, which David Parsons has brought no more than 15 or so metres to the goals. Batten going through the process. Steady approach, three-quarter goalpost height, and he's missed it to the right. Newcastle City now 5 goals, 6-36, leading Singleton no score after approximately 20 and a half minutes gone in this first quarter, David.
Thank you, Lucas. Well done.
Thank you.
Short ball, very short.
End of the mark, of course, going back to the 9 metre.
Out from Howard, goes long. O'Malley behind the back job. Ball goes out. Over there at half forward for Newcastle City, leading by 36 points. Towards the end of the first quarter, just a couple of minutes left. Keys to win this one, double hand up. Ball comes through. And held in. Umpire says that'll be mine, thanks. Keyston Thompson. Thompson has a leap at that, but Keys just holds his ground. Scott could have been penalised there, wasn't. Mitchell Knight, chain handball. They've gone square and opened the play up brilliantly there. O'Donoghue, who's a lefty. McDonald's having a roast on the bench, so I'm not sure who's at full forward for him. Goes long and goes too long. Behind over Jackson Crawford's head. Newcastle City 5-7-37. Singleton yet to score. 37 points of difference towards the end of quarter number 1. Lucas Holmes and David Redden with you on Bar TV. Short ball out to Scott. He's looking like he's the link man for them. He's just going to sit back there and get kick after kick, I reckon. Short ball perfect. Well done actually at the end by Quinlan at short level. This is a dominant display by City. Up there from O'Donoghue. That might be a goal. No, touched. Newcastle City 5-8-38. Singleton yet to score. Lucas?
And I think from a Newcastle City perspective, David, I think they'd be happy with Andrew Scott just sitting behind the ball because that takes away his effectiveness from their point of view, I think, when he's in and under.
Correct. Long, deep in defence. Goes long. Good grab, Andrew Scott. Left-hand handball out, comes back to Scott. Now he's in trouble. Puts a fend on, beats 3 players. Might be Groundhog Day today. I think Scott getting the football in traffic. Draper gets the ball eventually off hands. Umpire says that'll be mine. 38 points of difference. 23 minutes approximately gone here at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. In weather that could best be described, Lucas, as glorious. It is a beautiful day here. Big tap out there from Partridge. Roving at the back, Batten. Where's he going to go? That might be downfield. No, not pay. It was rough. Not judged serious enough. Sweeping play. Quinlan will take that easily. Keast, is that who you're looking for, Louis? Or Caswell?
No, Crawford had gone out the back, but he's charging back to goal.
Is that who he's still after?
He's hit him.
Great spot, Lucas Holmes, and great spot, Haswell.
Himself and Woodhams, that Crawford and Woodhams could have almost rattled it between themselves, David. It was a 2-on-1 they had out the back. It's Crawford who has the mark. No more than 20 or 25 metres out, David. Slight angle.
He's a very good finisher. He'll finish this easily.
I think so. Crawford punches it straight through the middle. Another goal for Newcastle City, their 6th. Newcastle City, 6 goals, 8-44, leading Singleton, no score.
And that is quarter time here at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. Newcastle City 6-8. And the Singleton Roosters yet to score. We'll come back with you after a short break for the second quarter here from Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. See you soon. Just had Rosie Ronan Yates come up and say thank you. Very nice of her to do that. Lovely quality young person who went through an awful ACL reconstruction last year. She just came up to us, Kendall and myself, and said thank you, and really kind of her to do that. Shows what a quality person she is. Both Kendall and I are very appreciative of what she's just done. Lucas is getting some number changes for us. Look, we were struggling there a bit in that quarter. What we think are very, very late number changes. So just coming up in the next couple of weeks while we're waiting for the next quarter to start. Next week we're at Don Small Oval in Tacoma, Kendall, for Wyong Lace and Killarney. We'll have to try and get a truck because we're usually, last year we're on a ute. And a double header there, Wyong Lace, Killarney, both grades, local rivals, no love lost at all. Will be great fun. And then after that, representative football back here in Newcastle at Pasterfield. 2 weeks in a row at Pasterfield, actually. Rep footy and then Cardiff and Newcastle City, which will be a cracker. Lucas Holmes will be joining us momentarily with the score here 6-8 to Newcastle and yet to score for Singleton. And Singleton struggling a little bit to get the ball past forward line. So what do we got, Louis? So talk to me. 18? Yep. Ingram out. Josh Long to 23. Brad Barnett in 14. Thank you. Brad Barnett. What was that fellow's name? Got it? What about 4?
Oh, I missed that one, did I? I did.
Clinton Capel, is that right?
Yes.
Well, if Josh Long's gone to 23, what's Matthew Cornelius? He's in 23.
He is.
Okay, we'll have to get that sorted. So we think that Brad Barnett's gone in 14.
Yep.
Lauren, did you wish to speak to us or say anything? Thank you. Well, we have one, yes. We've got that sorted. So thank you so much, Lauren.
Beautiful. Much
Lauren
appreciated.
Francis from AFL HCC. Great to see Lauren here at the footy. She's been watching a little one play netball this morning. Watching 6-year-olds play netball is often fun, isn't it? Look forward to seeing you at the women's representative round at Pasterfield and the big rep day at Pasterfield, Lauren, which is the 18th of May at the Pasterfield complex. AFL HCC versus South Coast. Women at 3, men at 5. Got it? Yes, I've got my draw here, Lauren. I've got it there. Bar TV draw, so can't wait for that. Kevin McDonald shrugs off his opponent with contemptuous ease. And will kick this time from 40 metres. Didn't have the radar quite right in the first quarter, did he, Louis?
He didn't, David, but maybe just getting used to the bearings of the ground again. You never know. Couldn't get much better conditions today, though, for key forwards.
Oh, stunning. Reckon he's got that one sweet as a nut. Kevin McDonald's second goal. Newcastle City 7-8-50. Singleton yet to score. This is going to be an interesting day for the Roosters. Lucas Holmes.
CFM, the Central Coast #1 station for hits and old school is 101.3 CFM. Wake up with Gaundy and Ash Pollard for breakfast, full of pranks, real talk and passion for the community and local initiatives to start your day. Start your day with Gaundy and Ash Pollard from 5am to 9am weekdays on the Central Coast #1 station for hits and old school 101.3 CFM. David?
Thank you, Lucas. Lucas Holmes, David Redden and Kendall Clausen with you, here with you at #1 Sports Ground in West Newcastle. Mitchell rows that brilliantly, gets a left football, gets underneath it a bit. Oh, is that... that's Barnett in 14.
Barnett in 14,
yeah, thank
yep.
you. Baker. Now, if he's given partial look out, there's a Shepherd behind. Watch this ball. It'll be right on the laces. Haswell. They're going short. Keys wants it. Someone's running into the hole. That's Quinlan, I think. He's trying to find Max. And he gets him in amongst 3 players. Well done there by Thompson. In and under. Baker. Short left foot ball. And picked off beautiful back there. McDonald for once behind. Tagani goes short. Well done, Sweetenham. That sort of goes to show what Newcastle City are about today. They mean business, Lucas Holmes.
Having the forward pressures been on as well, David. Not allowing Singleton an easy exit of their back half.
Don't forget to come back with us after a short half-time break for Conversation Corner. Lucas Holmes and David Redden will have a bit of a chat about all things football. Could be a wide-ranging discussion, that one. Good tackle, Keys. Just got it out, Baker. Smooth mover, if that hits someone. Anthony Baker. Haven't we missed him, Lucas Holmes?
We sure have, David. And just a quick one, Luke Draper just on his haunches in the background, just hobbling.
Yes, you can see him, to the right. This is Triffett with the mark. And Triffitt's going to kick this from no more than 30 metres out for Newcastle City's 8th. Slow, deliberate run up. Gets into a trot now. Doesn't miss. Kay Triffett, another goal. He's first for today's correction. Newcastle City 8-8-56. Singleton yet to score, and there is a sense of inevitability about this game, I'm afraid. Lucas Holmes.
Central Coast Physiotherapy. Central Coast Physiotherapy Sports and Spinal Centre is helping keep AFL Hunter Central Coast footballers on the field all season long. As well as providing the best in injury treatment and rehabilitation, they can also supply all of your tape and trainer needs at the best guaranteed price.
56 points the difference. Thompson, who's undersized, but he's doing his very best in the ruck here. He's gone in against Max Quinlan, who jumps off 2 feet and still beats him. Mitchell pushing off, does well, gets a touch. Scott going forward, Thompson. Rare 4-8-40 for Singleton. Can they get in front? Kelleher playing back. Gets it out of bounds. So Kelleher played in the ruck in round 1 at the Central Coast Regional Sports Complex. He's not today. Although this time he might be going into this contest here with this throw-in. He is. So Kelleher onto the ball with Thompson. Mitchell Knight loitering at the back door here. Well read Mitchell. Got to get rid of it. Does. Oh, good grab. Good football, Singleton. That's Will Brayshaw. Brayshaw's got a real chance to, from no more than 40 minutes out, to kick Singleton's first goal, Lucas.
It has, and there's a whistle there from controlling umpire. Do not know why. Maybe putting Brayshaw back on his correct line. That's Brayshaw. Picks up a gallop. Goal umpire moves a bit to their right, her right rather, and misses, does Brayshaw. Singleton with their first point. 1 point trailing Newcastle City, 8 goals, 8.56 after 5 1/4 minutes in this second quarter, David.
Thank you, Lucas. The huddle breaks. This is going to fall on Kelleher's head. Baker from the side misses. Bet you that Scott in and under, ducked his head. Good tackle, Baker. Both with strong upper bodies. Baker, a physical fitness, I think he's a gym owner. And Scott just is such a Adonis of a build. He's a big, strong man. And a very decent human being as well to go with it just quietly. Quinlan, great step. Max steps into trouble actually eventually. Singleton got a chance in this forward line. Mitchell Knight hooks that ball around. Haswell. 30-metre handball is magnificent. Should be one more handball coming and does. Crawford, who's fast, takes his time on the half volley this time. Coming back, Crawford. He want a better delivery this time. Keist's on, he squares it. Should have been picked off by Mitchell. He had one look at the corner of his eye, Sweetenham. Triffett looking for Keist. Good mark, Cameron Keist. Very good in front of Bray. 2-on-1 contest there, and the big man Keist will take it. A shot at Newcastle City's 9th goal. Lucas Holmes is confident. There's actually no one on the mark here. Oh, yeah, here he comes now. And Cameron Keist does the business. That is his first for today. Newcastle City 9-8-62. Singleton is 1 point. Lucas.
Bar TV Sports. Bar TV Sports, the specialist in live streaming and broadcasting of sport, including AFL Hunter Central Coast. Bar TV Sports, making your game the main game.
And apologies for my voice. I've not been overly well this week. I'm coming good, thankfully, for me, but the voice is slightly going, so we'll do the best I can and we'll plough on. Umpires waiting for the football to come back from the very busy car park here at the National Park Complex in Newcastle West. Netball and football and rugby union being played in this very big complex in inner city Newcastle. Great part of Australia, Newcastle. Fantastic coming here every weekend. It's such a privilege. That game's at Monaco, I think, isn't it? The first game, Louis?
There's 2 on, David.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll come back to that shortly.
Yep.
O'Donoghue squaring ball with his left foot. Draper, injured a moment ago. Kevin McDonald dropped it point blank. Draper, well done. Given back correctly by McDonald. Draper thumps it forward. 1-on-4 contest here. Picked up remarkably by Rawnsley. Right-hand handball coming out. Tries Dwyer. He's not going to go short as he is. Crawford. Oh, controls that one-handed somehow and delivers to Haswell. The sumptuous skill of Jackson Crawford. Haswell's going to Keist. Very good defence actually by Bray to do that, to get that ball to ground. Well done, Bray. That's a victory for Singleton there. Keist was in front and all over it, and Bray's come from behind and got a stoppage for his side. 9 minutes gone this quarter. Baker sitting at quarterback as he so often does. Picked off there by Hickson, goes forward. Good kick actually to position. Rawnsley. Quinlan. Durbridge. It's a bit of a clinic at the moment, Louis. Bowyer. At the back, that's Crawford, I think. Little drop kick. Great work, Crawford. He's hurt himself as well. Jackson Crawford's third goal, and I'll tell you, he's on 7 or 8 today. Newcastle City, 10-8-68, and Singleton 1 behind. Lucas.
Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. Trading hours 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Support local businesses. Subway. Eat fresh.
Belinda Jenkins from Killarney Vale's women's side's with us, looking very sore after a very, very tough game of football earlier on today against Newcastle City. And commiserations, we'll see you next week, broadcasting again next week. Wyong Lace and Killarney Vale. No love lost there. That'll be on for young and old. Good stuff. Out that ball comes. Scott extracts brilliantly to Mitchell. Left footer. Picked off by Baker on his non-dominant. I don't think I've ever seen him kick right-footed. What a kick for a non-dominant side. Woodhams has got a paddock. Kicks it to space to Crawford. That's probably a smart move. Out. The ball's gone out. Well, excuse me, I thought he'd stepped him. Now, here comes Quinlan, and here comes Thompson. Scott's loitering at the back. Knight's going to him now to stop him getting an easy ball. Sorry, it was Batten. Barnett. Thompson gets a handball out, but it goes to Mac O'Malley. Intercepted. Scott onto his left side. Short ball, left foot. It's perfect to Hickson. Beats him in. Big, strong man. Lovely fend. And the kick goes at 60 degrees. And it's out of bounds. Left forward pocket for Singleton, up by 67 points. Lucas, quick score check while we're waiting for the boundary umpire at Royal Monaca, please.
Okay. There's 2 matches going on at the moment, David, as well as
Giants
the Demons
in front
and the
by
Hawks.
35, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
And Giants in front by 35 at Monaca, and Hawthorn up by 15 over Melbourne. Melbourne have got some serious problems. Rawnsley sweeping. That might be out of bounds in the full this time. Good pressure, Singleton. Or is it touch? It is out of bounds in the full. Just waiting to see who's got this kick. In fact, it is Josh Eade. Very deep pockets here at number 1. And this is a tough kick. I would have thought if he's going to have a ping, he'll go check side. No, he's not. He's going to go to the hot spot. Kicks it straight down Connor Haswell straight, and he drops what he otherwise might have taken. Good contest, Draper. Singleton fighting as hard as they can. Mitchell. Good delivery. And Brayshaw's actually had a reasonable day today. He's presenting as often as he can. And he'll have a shot, Lucas, from... Now, the arc here isn't 50. I think it's 45. So I reckon it's about 46 out. 67 points of difference. To say Singleton need this is a massive understatement. Just on the arc, he's got a fair bit of that. I think it's a behind. It is. Singleton 2 behinds. Newcastle City 10-8-68. Lucas?
You, David. Was being brought in here. One of Newcastle City's numerous left footers. Durbridge, thank you, David. As pack forms on this outer side. Sport by Singleton from the kick out. As the ball come out, it's been ripped out of there. Tackle's not stick. And I think there's Haight hiding the ball. I suppose the 360 is your prior opportunity, is it not?
Draper.
Great tackle there.
Was.
Goes long and high, does Draper to a one-on-one. Defender defender gets turned over. Dwyer with the handball out. Wilcox. No, it's not. Correction. It's not. However, goes across to O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue goes further to the outer side.
Triffett.
That time it's Triffett.
Durbridge.
Back to you, David.
No, keep going with it. Keep going with it. That's right.
Durbridge to the outer side. In and under. Ripped out, maybe taken down without the ball not paid. Here's Baker. And there's a whistle. Is it downfield, David? Something's happened off the football.
I think the ball, this has happened behind the play. If it's a Newcastle City kick, why have they whistled it back? That's an interesting decision, Lucas. That's an interesting decision. Anyway, back towards Baker.
Must have been at disposal, because if it was after disposal, it would have been downfield. So it must have been at the point of disposal.
Oh, that's downfield this time, and they've missed it. Hickson's done that twice now. He wants to be careful. Woodhams Going backward with a handball. Finds Bowyer, and that's a dreadful kick and picked off by the player on the spot, who's the best footballer in the league, Andrew Scott. Three-quarter wedge. He hits his man on the hands, can't quite take the mark. Bray in there at 21, working his backside off. This is Long, we think, at 23. 24, McClelland. Or Cornelius, one of the two. Connor Haswell. Gone back home to his backline, usual backline area. No, he's not. He's actually the half forward, isn't he? He's going to be there all year for City, I suspect. O'Malley, sweeping handball out. Durbridge is not without a chance from there.
Yes, that is right, David.
Magnificent kick, Durbridge from 45 out. Newcastle City 11-8-74. Singleton 2 behinds. Lucas home.
Tyre Power. Tyre Power are proud supporters of the NCCUA and community AFL umpires across the New South Wales and ACT region. Right now, and exclusively at Tyre Power, buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyota passenger and SUV tyres. Catalogue full of big brand savings is out now. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner-operator.
Back to the centre. Umpire McCauley with the football. Into the ruck goes Bray. Max Quinlan jumping off 2 feet. Still gets the contest. Handball comes out. It's a bit of a clinic at the moment. O'Malley, especially in that back line for Newcastle City. Howard. Handball's out. Draper, who's had a crack today. Slightly built player. Mitchell Knight, pressure. Kevin McDonald, more pressure. That's the second time he's been pinged for throwing the football in the last 15 minutes. Putting a lot of pressure on the full forward. Draper again wounded in back play. Lucas noted he was hurt earlier. It's going to be a tough day for these Roosters players. Mitchell.
Must be his wrist or hand that time, David, because that's what he's supporting.
Got his hands in the wrong spot there, did Brayshaw. Back he comes. Gary Owen ball goes long. Where are they coming from? All over the place. Hickson over there. Got a chance. O'Malley. Hickson off the ground. Now, is that 50?
No, it's a hold.
Yep. Wasn't a free kick because the kick was almost simultaneous. Goes open side. Finds Baker. He's got Quinlan on down short and finds Max.
And go over the top again.
Yeah, Woodhams is on and so is Crawford. Crawford's away, dangerous. He should use Woodhams there. Oh, what a step. If you see that on replay, have a look at the step that Jackson Crawford just put on. World class. Out of there comes Blanchfield. Another step. Dwyer. Handballs out. Singleton are regrouping. Crawford finishes. Does. Jackson Crawford's 4th. But again, if you're watching on the replay, have a look at the right foot step that Jackson Crawford put on about 30 seconds ago. Absolutely brilliant. His footwork is superb, especially when he's in the open. Newcastle City 80, Singleton 2. Just got some updates, Lucas. Go, please. You take the read.
So, in the other Hunter Haval Black Diamond Cup games, David, Cardiff leading Nelson Bay, Terrigal leading Wyong, Warners Bay in a tight one over Gosford, beg my pardon, and Killarney Vale over Maitland.
Correct, and Gosford have kicked 2-7, so Warners Bay 4-6, but Gosford 2-7, and accurate shooting. That will come back and haunt them. Out we come. Belinda's coming up to say hello. Killarney Vale are up by 60, was that right, Louis? 40. Killarney Vale 44, Maitland 5 over at McMahon Oval. That's Maitland's first game home of the season. Ball held in. Crawford. Another right foot step. Off to Noah McDonald this time. Can he finish? He can't, and it's going to go out of bounds just. Christine Burrows in perfect position. 78 points the difference here. Throw in coming right in the right forward pocket for City. 18 3/4 minutes gone, quarter number 2. Keast in front, very hard man to move. Handball comes out, Bright, Thompson, Keast. Noah McDonald's on his natural foot. And misses. Newcastle City 12-9-81, Singleton 2 behinds. Lucas Holmes, Kendall Clawson, David Redden with you here on Bar TV. AFL HGCUC action from that Newcastle #1 sports ground with the surface of the ground in superb condition. Push out coming there, Scott, chance on his right foot this time. Goes to the handball, hits Brayshaw, should have picked it up first time. Don't have enough chances to go, can't go second time in this league. Good tackle, Scott in and under, Brayshaw in there as well. That's a push in the back, I thought. Yes, is that an injured player near us?
Looks like it just gone down the race, David.
Yes. Or unless it's a Singleton reserve grader. Player come up. Oh, he's tunnelled. That could be he could be wounded there, Woodhams. They've tunnelled him, and he's fallen very awkwardly. And paid meters. 50 for the tunnelling. I wonder whether that's 50 for the tunnelling or 50 for a bit of lip, Lucas. Singleton players are absolutely mystified of this decision. Now, is Woodhams in a fit state to take the kick? He is. And he's going to kick from just inside the arc.
What I was going to say, but now I think about it, is it could have, if you think it was for the tunnel, the 50 would have been paid straight away, unless now with the communications that they have now, the umpires, it could have been paid 50 as one of the other umpires could have seen it better. As the resulting free kick's been pushed across for another point from Newcastle City. Now 12 goals, 10-82, leading Singleton no score after about 21 minutes in this second quarter, David.
Lovely step. Straight down the middle. He's brilliant to Mitchell. That was really cleverly done. And that's the advantage of this new rules. They've now cleared the area. Mitchell looking for options. Doesn't have many past half forward. In there is, we think, Cornelius in 23. Dropping it, I think, or holding the man. One of the left foot redheads. It's a free kick to, is it a free kick to Singleton? Okay, it must have been holding the man behind play. Goes forward quickly. That ball's gone long. Hickson chasing. Durbridge too quick for him. Ball out of bounds in front of Liam Dwyer. On a ground he knows very well, Liam Dwyer, being a very handy cricketer for the Hamilton Wickham Cricket Club. Liam's mum's got a hell of a lot to do with cricket and puts in a huge amount of time to cricket in our district. Well done. Gillian Dwyer. O'Malley. Low to the ground. Scott's read that one brilliantly, takes it above his head. I reckon he's got 20 touches in this half already, Louis.
See there, David, just for a quick second, he lost it in the sun. His hands trying to shield his eyes.
Yep. Got to move it on now. Short. Finds Scott, who's come forward and is within kicking range here. End of the quarter, about 2 minutes away. Scott, who doesn't usually kick long, he's usually a 25 to 30 metre guy. But this will test him for Singleton's first. Scott from just inside the arc. Gets a fair bit of it. Pulls it left, I reckon. Behind. Singleton's third. Singleton 3 behind. Newcastle City 12-10-82. And Lucas and I will come back after a 5-minute break at halftime and come back and have a bit of a chat. Give you some score updates.
Went on his right with that set shot too, did Scott with that one, David? Went on his right.
Yeah, he did. I think that's his natural foot. He's right-handed, too.
Right-handed.
Crawford leading them a merry dance. Even beats Scott. Gets a handball over. He might be about for this back. This will be brilliant. Oh, he's gone the check side to square it up unselfishly for Triffett. Oh, that's a grab around the leg, I thought. Not paid. 25's Gaffney. Smothered. Pup Mitchell's in there. Goes high. In there is Tagani, I think. Pushing the back, surely. And paid. Kevin McDonald's got a push in the back free kick, given against Barnett, I believe. And for a right-footed kicker, this is exactly where you want to be. He's going to go backwards and play on. And Connor Haswell's got a much better angle. And Connor Haswell's also a superb kick. Usually drives them low, doesn't get under it. There'll be a feature for the AFL HSC website against South Coast in a fortnight. Lucas on Bar TV. And I would imagine that he'll be forming a very deadly half-back line with a couple of other players I can think of. One of them maybe Nick Tomlinson. Deadly. Let's see. Haswell through his process. Gullumply hasn't moved. Lovely kick, Connor Haswell. His first today. Newcastle City 13-10-88. Singleton 3 behinds. Lucas James Holmes.
Belmont 16-footer Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. For all the latest news and promotions, visit 16s.com.au or find us on Facebook, the home of AFL Hunter Central Coast.
Siren imminent. There it is. Newcastle City 13-10-88. Singleton 3 behinds. Lucas and I will take a short halftime break and come back for a conversation quarter in about 5 or 6 minutes. See you soon. Welcome back to at halftime. Lucas and I are going to sit here and talk a bit about all things football. Lucas, what's grabbed your mind in the last 7 days of football across Australia and in our own league?
Well, last 7 days, it's been was a fairly, so you could almost say it in terms of AFL, it's almost come back down to earth in terms of you say the teams that we've been spoken about pre-season about being sort of the better sides in the competition have sort of come to the floor. Teams like Gold Coast, St Kilda, and that have struggled in the past few weeks, and some of the powerhouses. Geelong still doing very well at the top. Hawthorn and a mini resurgence as well. So, but Sydney, as we were talking about off air as well, actually on air actually with Jack as well, still starting to struggle a little bit. So, see where that goes. But
they won't make the 8.
No,
simple. Sydney aren't good enough. They won't make the 8. Interesting to see Collingwood come up against what I think is a pretty decent Port Adelaide side last night. And I'm an early person to go to bed normally, but I watched them at the start of the game and I just thought Collingwood looked comfortable and they were well in their stride. It's interesting, they don't play very often at Docklands, and they look very good. They'd obviously had some training there because they played it well. Only
played there 2 or 3 times this year from memory.
Yeah, so with their 900,000 members, they won't be happy with that.
No. And to be fair to Port Adelaide, though, there would be about 6 or 7 of their starting team that are currently out at the moment. Robbie Gray, Jack Watts, a few others as well.
Yeah, I'm still not
Charlie
convinced.
Dixon.
I'm still not convinced after a decade that Jack Woods is a good footballer.
Yep.
Okay.
No, fair enough.
I think there's been a massive question mark at him from the day that Collingwood belted him up in his first game on the wing at the MCG. I know you're sitting there chuckling because I'm sure you watched the game.
Remember that one.
Back here, some interesting things. I had a good chat with Jack about the new rules. He's of the opinion, like a lot of us are, that the 666 works really well.
It does. Yep.
Look, we've got some interesting things happening in our league. We've got a representative football coming up in 2 weeks with Craig Gollage and Nathan Harkness and looking after our women's and men's sides. Very interesting to see. We don't know much about the AFL South Coast. Saw their side named in dispatches during the week. Unfortunately, I don't know many of their players. That's life. But the make-up, the side, the 35 players that have been chosen, there's some very good players. And these guys haven't been confirmed. But I'm great to see Braden Toss and Tim Ersterhoff get put into the squad as rucks. Ersterhoff's been, the dominant player in the ruckman in the league now for a couple of years. Won an Elliot Davey last year. Looking forward to seeing him play rep football again. Looking forward very much to seeing Connor Haswell and some of these Newcastle. There's a lot of Newcastle City players in it, in the squad. Some good players at Cardiff too. I'm looking forward to see Bryce Gretz get a run.
So you're talking about the half back line, Tomlinson.
If Tomlinson plays and Haswell,
which you think he would, like on talent wise, he'd be there. It's a matter of he wants his body rested on or not.
That's right. And then you're looking at your forward structure and some of the guys who are in the squad. Jake Roach, Andrew Scott might go forward. Kevin McDonald if he gets chosen, and then some of the small forwards, Jackson Crawford. And there are other blokes that And one of the interesting ones to me is Isaac Hughes. Hasn't played much football in his life, but he's killing it for Cardiff at the moment. But I suppose that I'm really looking forward to watching that at Pasterfield. And then the week after that, we've got Cardiff and Newcastle City at Pasterfield on the 25th of May, which for mine is going to be one of the games of the season in the first half of the year, Louis. Admittedly, Wine Lakes and Calabo I'll be on next week. That'll be some real hard football, but very interesting there.
That is at Don Small next weekend.
Tacoma next week, and then Pasterfield 2 weeks in a row. Representative football on the 18th. So they're 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock first bounces. You'll be umpiring at 11 that day. The plate fixtures are all at 11. Everybody's playing a round of plate early. But the first game of the rep is at 3, so everybody's got time.
That is at Fayen, correct?
Yes, correct. Okay, yes, cool. I believe so.
Cool.
So Lucas Holmes, of course, the plate umpire for the Warners Bay Football Club. Doing a good job with that, as he always does.
Thank you.
But yes, you're starting to see some of the better teams at the start of the AFL sort of come to the top. I can't see the flag right now going away from Terrigal, Avoca, Newcastle City and Cardiff. I just can't see it. I just don't think the other sides are strong enough and have enough depth now. It'll be interesting to see who gets into the final 4, but they're the 3 again. Cardiff playing very good football. New coaches don't go in with a dominant full forward. They go in with Jack Lennon and the Hughes others running in and around, although Michael Ryan's playing again today. Terrigal-Avoca, we haven't seen much of Terrigal-Avoca.
No.
They're winning today. They had an ordinary performance against Cardiff a couple of years ago. That'll probably wake them up, which is not good. And Newcastle City just back at home for the first time on this beautiful ground, and you can see that on your coverage at the moment. The ground's in superb nick. But yeah, that Cardiff City game's going to be a belter, Lucas. Belter. All on Bar TV. Kendall and I had a visit at the break there from Royce and Ronan Yates.
Yep.
Came up, was very thankful for us for covering women's football and for the support we gave her on air, particularly with her ACL. But she was just lovely to us, and it was really, really nice. So thanks to Rosie for that. It's a really lovely gesture. It was most appreciated by both of us. It was very nice for a nicely spoken young person, and it's good to see her playing such good football after Newcastle said it's so many ACLs last year in both sides, the Navy and the Stars. It was ridiculous.
No, it's great to see her back, and from the patches of the game that I witnessed earlier, David, she was playing very well behind the football as well. She's been going well so far.
She certainly did at that representative round that we called it Fairdale. She was outstanding in the back line there, Louis. So, of course, you're in the Mediterranean on that day. So,
shout out to the rest of my family. What's
Good
the time
stuff.
here now? It is.
was
3
it
o'clock.
8 hours behind us?
8 hours. So 7:10 in the morning. Over
Hello, Holmes family. If you're listening, the great man's doing a good job here.
in Austria at the moment for a day or two. Then off to
Hello,
France.
he's coming up to say hello to us. Hello, Coach. What's up?
Good. How's the coverage?
Good, thank you.
Good. What have we seen so far?
Look, just while you're there, we were just talking representative football. Interesting squad that's got together. Some very talented players there. It's going to be a hard cut to get down to the 23. So this is Representative Coach Tim Cotter from Newcastle City with us.
That is a good spot to be in, isn't it? Too many players. Getting to 35 was hard enough. Getting to 22 is what we want it to be, as hard as it possibly can. Players that aren't interested and don't train, a bit like at City, you don't get a game. So that's where we'll start. We'll start with those that want to represent this great league, want to put the best foot forward. They put themselves in the box seat. But yeah, there's going to be competition for spots. You know, you'll see we've gone for young guys who are fit and are in good form. But then it's hard to ignore blokes like, straight to mind comes a guy like Tomlinson at Cardiff. Not the youngest bloke, but my God, he's a good player. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to get the balance right. We want youth, but we're going to have some wise heads there as well.
Nick Tomlinson has got such a wonderful representative CV playing for the Maroons up there north of the border. You can see him fitting in. We were just talking about the potential of the back line for the AFL HCC. He's got some very good footballers, none the least of which is Connor Haswell. I'm assuming that although he's playing in the 50 for Newcastle City, that he'll go back to his normal representative position and launch at a very big pasture field oval.
Yeah, do you think AFL South Coast are listening? He'll go back. Yeah, he'll go back. We really want to develop Connor as a footballer, and he could sit at half-back and take 15 marks a game. But what are we getting out of him? What are we doing to develop him? So this season, he'll play on the half-forward flank. He'll play out of the square. You see today he's roaming. We're talking about him running a bit of a pyramid. He'll take some marks at half-forward. He'll head to the wings, and he'll link up at half-back. Last week and the week before, he'll honestly say, and he did to me, and I said to him in no uncertain terms, he was getting hungry. He was getting himself 30 metres out in the hotspot. And Big Kev's looking at him, but not saying much because Kev doesn't say much. But it was, Connor, can you please do the team thing, be the link man? Your hands are better for us at half-back, actually, than 30 metres out. We've got enough guys that can kick goals. So he's played really well, and that'll help him. If he plays rep footy across half-back, we think that's the sort of position that he's best suited in a rep team, most definitely. Yeah.
Of course, in the grand final last year, he was switched forward and was the catalyst in that second quarter for City's complete turnaround. I thought Terrigal-Avoca were on top in the first 35, 36 minutes of their game. Haswell went forward. We noticed it and it just changed the whole complex. I think City might have hit 3 or 4 goals back to back to go into half time. Then went after the siren, and then after that it was all over. They did a great job. Look, what are we seeing up here? Look. The experienced backline from Newcastle City links so well together. All those left-footed players that make such a difference. And at this ground, if you saw this ground in March during cricket season when the Corellas and the Cockatoos had destroyed it, they've done a wonderful job to get it back to what is in good nick. Haven't they, Lucas? If you'd have seen this ground in March, it looked like this out here. It was that bad, and it was all these rotten Corellas and Cockatoos just destroying the place. And it's in great nick now. Did you want to ask him anything, mate?
No, I was just going to say that was a very, very intriguing and interesting point that Tim made on Connor Haswell, actually, especially with the new rules, in particular the 6'6". With Haswell, he's not the tallest of players, but he's very well built. So playing him one out in the square, he's got that sort of more solid body. Playing one-on-one is a very, very smart move, in my opinion, as well.
Indeed. We're going to get back to calling here. It's good to talk to you. Thank you for your time. Good luck for the rest of the day. Singleton have actually been called out of the sheds here. They were slightly delayed coming out. So we're about to get going. Half number 2 here. Lucas, just a quick score check, please. AFL HCC for the Cup.
That's women's.
Leave it up there for me and we'll come back to it in a second. Out that ball comes. Well read. Mitchell's eventually, he's actually got his hands on the ball a lot today. Barnett, Baker, little round the corner kick. Noel McDonald up there in 45. Cleared out Dwyer. Crawford crosses it to the hot spot. Keast didn't realise it was coming to him. Now gets the football. Handball's out, Kev McDonald. That's a Falcon. Hickson down there. Good tackle, Keast, and gone, I reckon. Paid immediately by the central umpire Parsons. And Cam Keast is going to go back here and take a shot at his first goal for the second half. So Cardiff up by 55 over Nelson Bay. Terragawaka 74 Wyong Lakes. Warners Bay 2 straight kicks over Gosford. And Killarney Vale by 43 over Maitland. That's at half time. Keast misses to the right. Newcastle City 13-11-89. Singleton 3 behinds. Minute gone.
Furthering that point on the discussion from with Tim Cotter just recently, David, fascinated, actually hadn't spoken to him a great deal, and just the way he thinks about developing players, and someone of Connor Haswell's still fairly young, but he's accomplished so much already in this league. It was really interesting to see his views on football in general, and that discussion regarding Connor Haswell is Scott takes a mark and immediately handballs.
This is
One
Brayshaw.
bounce. Brayshaw goes around, gets a hastily handball out.
Ball comes out there. That's Thompson in the middle. Barnett drops it. Now they're in trouble. Here come the City troops. That's O'Donoghue, who's a lefty. Want to get on his left foot, can't. Knight, short ball, perfect. Keast, handball off. Baker might have a go. He usually doesn't. And as always, Lucas Holmes, the delivery's immaculate. Anthony Baker will go, and he's come back to football for Newcastle City. Newcastle City 14-11-95. Singleton 3 behinds. Lucas Holmes.
IC have been at the cutting edge of designing and manufacturing apparel from grassroots to elite sporting teams for over 20 years, and are proud to be a preferred apparel supplier of AFL Hunters Central Coast for the 2019 season.
92 points the difference here. I think that's Ash Haler down the bottom there. G'day, Ash. Hello, best and first from last year. Got to see you, Ash, at the football. How are you? There's a superb footballer. Holy cow, Ashley Harder can play football. McDonald. Sorry, not Crawford, that was. One-hand handball comes out. I don't know how it's got let go, but anyway. Draper, who's had a real crack today. Certainly not Singleton's worst play today. Crawford. Just let run amok. Baker ducks, misses Hickson. Or Hickson misses him. Out towards O'Donoghue. Bowyer. McDonald, not helped by the delivery. Ducks his head. Yes, I thought that could have been ball too. Trouble here. Can McDonald put pressure on? Fend off coming from Howard. You can see the scores in the background. 95-3. At Monica, it's 59-34 the Giants and 38-29 Hawthorn over Melbourne. Thank you, Lucas. Ball held in. Lots of plays around the ball. McDonald on his non-dominant. Can he bring it around? I think he has. Noel McDonald's first goal today. Newcastle City seemingly for mine on the way to 175. 15-11-101. Singleton 3 behinds. Lucas.
Awards are us. Established over 25 years ago, Awards are us pride themselves on an ability to supply high-quality work and personal professional service. David and Lisa are experienced in fulfilling the most complex needs of their clients. Special deals are available for all AFL Hunter Central Coast clubs.
Rick Jackson just gets into the arc. after interchange. Newcastle City haven't had their warning yet either. Singleton have today. Quinlan jumping off 1 foot, beaten that time by Howard. Screwed around the right foot. Keast in front of Bray. Noah McDonald. Connor Haswell. Steps 1, steps 2 with sumptuous ease, but doesn't deliver perfectly. His intercept mark in front of McDonald. 25's Gaffney. Hickson, whacks it on the right boot. At least kicks it to a contest. Well done, Scott. Scott seemed to have gone to centre half forward, which is probably a result of being leather poisoning. O'Malley, no, that was Dwyer, and picked off beautifully by Conrad Smith. And they go down the spine, I suggest he is. Yes, he is. Scott, uncontested. If he's gone forward, let at least give him the target. Steps it, Quinlan easily. Goes to the 3/4 wedge wide. Short ball coming in, picked off by O'Malley. In front of Cody Marchant, that was. Baker in 15, picked off by Scott. Knew where that was going, I reckon. Short ball, Scott. And he's in turn picked off. Crawford, that blinding speed. Haswell's got lovely hands. Now can he find McDonald? That's 50. Must have been called a play on. And Haswell struck Hickson behind play unnecessarily. Little tap it was, but it was there. Triffett.
Haswell had been called to play on as well, David.
I still think Hickson was over the encroachment mark beforehand.
That's my fair
opinion.
enough.
But
yep.
yeah, you're right. I saw the umpire.
The play on. That's all I'm calling.
No, you're good, Lucas. Yep. Interesting. We saw two different things from this exactly the same thing. So, Triffett inside 50.
Got it.
That's Kate Triffett's second goal. Newcastle City 16-11, 107. Singleton 3 behind. Lucas.
CFM. The Central Coast #1 station for hits and old school is 101.3 CFM. Wake up with Gaundy and Ash Pollard for breakfast. Full of pranks, real talk and passion for the community and local initiatives to start your day. That's the Central Coast 101.3 CFM, David.
Thank you, Lucas. 104 points of difference here to Newcastle City. Putting the cleaners through Singleton today. Singleton short of troops, but City being very professional as always. And they will not take the foot off the throat, Lucas. Quinlan well beaten there by Howard, I think, has gone in the ruck. Gets that ball forward. Scott, lovely hands out, Brayshaw. Brayshaw again back in the middle. And should be gone, not paid. O'Donnell who's in there. Scott with his head over the ball. Doesn't stop trying, does he? He's a professional. And he and Lennon had their first son a couple of days ago. Arlen, little boy. We all hope everybody's well. And congratulations to the Scott family on their first son, Arlen Scott. Crawford away. Dangerous. Short ball and relaunching. It's Groundhog Day. O'Donoghue, thumping ball, finds Haswell. Perfect kick. Haswell off his feet for the first time I've seen him in a long time off his feet. Thompson. Down the line on a good lead. Good football. Singleton, very good. This is Tagani. Scott's on his own in the middle there. Right on his head. Good defence from behind O'Malley. This is going to hit O'Malley from Baker. Third man out. Tagani beaten by right footstep. Noel McDonald. Kevin McDonald's at the back here, loitering behind. Defender goes to the defensive action. Haswell, beautiful hand pass to Blanchfield. Can't get him. Now he picks it up. Haswell's got a chance from there. Screws it around and won't get it far enough, I wouldn't think. And it's out of bounds on the full. So Newcastle City up by 104. 8 minutes gone, third quarter, Lucas.
You, David. Singleton starting to get their hands on the football more. Had a few more stoppages inside their forward 50, yet to capitalise on the scoreboard, however.
I think that's Cornelius. It's either Cornelius or Long and 23. 1-on-2. Hickson's going to do very well to beat two players. At least makes a contest. Crawford spears one in. It doesn't suit anybody. Cornelius. Got to get rid of it. Beats his man twice. Finds Mitchell. Good use of the football usually. Lets me down certainly. Brayshaw picks that up. Going inbound. That's dangerous. Here come the Swarmers. Baker, Knight. Back to Baker. Can he pick someone off on our left? That was Bowyer coming in. Instead he gets Batten outside the arc. Short ball. Who's he going to find here? McDonald stuck behind Mitchell. Cuts across and takes a brave mark. Oh, intercept mark though. O'Malley or Dwyer? Dwyer. Baker. Finishes superbly.
Anthony?
Goodness me, if he plays the rest of the season, look out everybody else. Newcastle City 17-11, 1-3. Singleton 3 behinds. Lucas James Holmes.
Central Coast Physiotherapy. Central Coast Physiotherapy Sports and Spinal Centre is helping keep AFL Hunter Central Coast footballers on the field all season long, David.
110 points the difference here at number 1 Sports Ground. Lucas, when the clock gets to 20, I'll get you to do an update for me and so we can get some scores around the grounds. Particular emphasis on that game at Fayen between the Dogs and the Tigers. Please, if you don't mind. Quinlan. And I think Tagani was in that contest there. Handball sweeping comes out. Quinlan goes backwards. Chain handball here, Bowyer. That's 6 handballs. O'Donoghue 7. Might be another one. 8. Bowyer. If he finishes that, that's goal of the year. No, good defence back there. McDonald roving. Can't pick it up. Dwyer smothered. Dwyer again. Handballs. Baker. Handball. Unselfish. I think that's Noah McDonald. And he's missed to the side. City 17-12, 1-1-4. Singleton 3 behinds. Mostly one-way traffic, which is unfortunate for Singleton, but City just going through what they've got to do. Draper. That clash in a fortnight, then 3 weeks against Cardiff is massive. Down the line, O'Dwyer's got the sit. Max comes in from the side. Left-hand handball out, goes out. Hickson and Bowyer. Boundary umpire will throw this in. There's the score in the background. 17-12, 1-1-4. The clock on the left-hand side is the actual time, 3:37 p.m. And that's third man in, I reckon. Lucas Holmes gives you the thumbs up. I'm learning, Lucas. After spending 4 years with you, I'm picking up a couple of rules. You're still the guru. Keith should have taken that. He was uncontested. Bray gets it out. No, he can't. Knight. I wonder what Mitchell Knight will. I bet you he'll give it off. Batten. I reckon he's kicked that. Just to the side. No, just Jags sideways. 17-13, 1-1-5. Singleton 3 behinds. The injured player down here on the left. Just to the left-hand side of it. Just to the left of Woodham's there in 35. He's coming back in the park. I think that's Bray in 7. No, it's not. It's Cornelius with the left shoulder. Last thing Singleton needs injuries at the moment. Down on Kettle today and being shown up, unfortunately.
We're talking about off-air, what you're saying about Samuel Brasington being out for an extended period as well, David?
Yeah. The great Paul Kelly. I was catching up with the great man earlier on. Wonderful man, Paul Kelly. What he's done for football in this league. Scott picks his man out brilliant. Must have got 35 touches today. Sam Brasington at MCL, another 3 weeks out, we think. That's not what Singleton needed. He took one of the best marks I think we've ever called last year with Lucas Holmes actually in commentary at the time. One-hander on the back at Rose Point Park, Lucas. I think that game was against Wyong Lakes and at Rose Point. It was one of the best marks I've ever seen. Crawford. Will he be unselfish? He is. And disposes poorly in the end. Howard picks him off. Sting's really got out of this game, Louis. Brayshaw, who's got a lot of touches today. He's been by no means beaten today. O'Malley. Scott can't quite put him off. Batten. Baker. Back to O'Malley. Barnett, left foot check side kick, finds his coach. Not much on long. Brayshaw making space for him. He's run. Brayshaw, so I'll give one thing, Brayshaw. He has a go and he's fit. He's run, hasn't stopped running, Lucas.
Hasn't, David.
Kevin McDonald coming off. Had a quiet day, really. Cameron Keys comes across and thumps the ball out in typical Cam Keys fashion. 14 minutes gone. Yes, Kendall's got the jacket out. I might be getting the jacket on shortly. Just starting to call off here in the shade, but It's just a beautiful day.
Okay, this will be interesting, David. You were just saying Cam Keith is in the ruck. Kevin McDonald's gone off, and it looks like, as we were talking about before with the coach Tim Cotter, Haswell's going one out in the square.
That is interesting. Interesting ways to challenge people, isn't it? Keast handball out to Max. Down the line.
Found that
Dwyer.
conversation rather interesting, David.
Interesting bloke. When you sit there and talk pure football with people and you ask their opinions, it's like trying to pick Jack Monahan's monitor. I was a bit nervous, but he had some strong opinions on things. You know, people who love their football have often got it, you know, especially coaches at this level, Lucas. They really love a good ball from Crawford. Woodhams looking wide.
Baker's just come off the interchange as well. That's where you get the outnumber, David.
And there's the extra number. And Blanchfield. Yeah, just see you later. Well done. Just interested to listen to Tim Cotter talk there. And, you know, they're challenging. Connor Haswell's a young man, multiple premierships, and they're still trying to find ways. He won't play in the forward line for AFL HCC. No. If he does, it'll be a change-up.
Yeah.
And I bet you do a great job. Blanchfield inside the arc. Good view of this on Bar TV. Off to the right. Mark taken, I think, by Noah McDonald, who's a left footer and may go Stevie J style here. I reckon that's exactly what he's going through at the moment. Watch him come side on, ladies and gentlemen. Plays on, left footed. I think he's missed, no, he has missed everything. Behind. Took it a bit too casually. Newcastle City 17-14, 116. Singleton, 3 behinds. 113 points the difference. Next stoppage, Lucas, we'll get updates, please. Next full stoppage from AFL HCC games around the traps. Handball comes out. In trouble. They're in all sorts here. Gone. Very good tackle, Stephen Batten. Sort of sums up Singleton's day to an extent, doesn't it, Lucas? Batten will go back here. Lucas, if he kicks this goal, which instead of giving us that, he's gone around the corner, Stevie J style, and shanks it terribly. Lucas, quick score update, please, if you can. Bring that for us. You run through the scores, please, for us.
Cardiff comfortably over Nelson Bay. Terrigal comfortably over Wyong at Faneover. We were talking about earlier, David. Warners Bay up by 11, so Gosford just reducing that margin ever so slightly. Killarney Vale still comfortable over Maitland, and obviously here at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground, City in cruise control here over Singleton.
Dwyer squares it. Haswell unselfishly trip it. Back to Haswell, who want to get rid of it immediately. Gus gets it away with a handball. Cornelius beats one. Can't beat the second. Comes back and goes straight through the middle. Good football. Scott. Route 1 football, but it was effective. Scott and throwing, I think, given by Parsons. Lucas Holmes giving me the throw on the right. I'm starting to see Lucas Holmes peripherally. That's worrying me. Dwyer, again, unselfish. Oh, Crawford? He'll finish.
Crawford or Blanchfield?
Crawford. I'm sure.
Crawford. Okay.
And Jackson Crawford having a day out.
His bag.
Newcastle City 18-14. 1-2-2, Singleton 3 behind. So the only game that is, there's 2 games with a bit left in them. It's here. Killarney Vale and Maitland. Killarney Vale up by 37 at Max McMahon. Maitland kicking 2-9. That's going to cost them. Warners Bay and Gosford, that's not a surprise. Gosford have been playing very convincing football. Warners Bay with the laid out of Luke McKenna, 7-8 and up there at Fayen.
The in from memory was Cooper Garrett, who was named the emergency
Garrett was
late
the
in the
emergency,
week.
that's correct. Saw that on the sheets when they came through. Keast. Terrible throw, and will come back. Bray and Keast. Lucas, I'm just going to put my jacket on. Would you take commentary?
Go for it. So looking at this in isolation, while the 6-6 is in effect, David, it does look like Haswell's got... Oh, no. Is that Haswell in the square? Not so sure. Anyway, no, thank you. Back to the centre. Keast comes over the top. There's Batten. In fact, that's Batten at the back. Gets a long thumping ball forward. Spoiled from behind. There is Crawford. Goes around, comes back. In fact, that was Crawford, so it would have been Blanchfield. Crawford goes deep inside forward 50. Bounce bamboozles everybody. And then Woodham's at the back, delayed in with his first goal of the day. And there he is.
Score check, please.
Newcastle City, 19 goals, 14, 128, leading Singleton 3 points after just short of 20 minutes here in this third quarter, David.
Bar TV Sports, the specialists in live streaming and broadcasting of sport, including the AFL Hunter Central Coast. Bar TV Sports, making your game the main game. Kendall Clawson, David Redden and Lucas James Holmes with you. We thank Jack Monahan for his commentary to be early today, Lucas.
We do.
Enjoy that very much, the beast. So, good, well done, Jack. Great to have Lucas here with me. And Lucas Holmes and David Redden, 4 years into a commentary partnership. Unbelievable to think we've been doing it for 4 years, Louis. East wins that one. In and under, I bet that's got it was. Brayshaw, I've been impressed with Lucas. I think they've got a bit to go with him. He's got something to offer. Brayshaw. Away come it's Groundhog Day. Out they come. Chain handball. Sweetenham, who's about 2'1", lively and quick, pushes his man out. Kevin McDonald's got the chance here. Great work, Scott. Almost went low. Sweetenham just gets a kick away. Crash ball coming. Got to get rid of it. Howard does with a long loping handball. Just can't get it over Keys. Baker sitting off Keys. Probably a wise move. O'Malley in 2. Wide. One hand mark. Triffett kicks it off the outside of his boot. That will look great on replay. Connor Haswell running into a lovely spot. Superbly done by Cade Triffett with a sort of a inside-out check side kick that hit his man.
Sure was, David.
Yes, scores down there, please. St Kilda hanging on there, 65-44, and Melbourne have come from the dead against Hawthorn, leading by 18 points there in Melbourne. Haswell here. Christine Burrows moves not 1 inch, and another goal to Connor Haswell. That's his second. Newcastle City, 20 goals, 14. Singleton, 3 behinds. Lucas Holmes.
David. This ball being brought back to the centre really quickly. The father and son duo on the boundary, Miles and Simon McCauley, David.
And Lincoln in the centre, so big.
Correct.
We do a lot of work for this football league, the McCaulays, so we should give them a shout out. And also another shout out, Lucas, for Jake Lowe. 250 games today over there at Fayan. Great to see Jake umpire 250 games in various guises in this football area. Well done. Keast beaten that time by Braid, does well. Triffett kicks that one to himself. That's a handy trick. Mitchell. Fend. Yeah, that's against Mitchell, I reckon, for a high fend. And Mitchell, that's exactly the decision given. Mitchell Knight dropped there. I would have. In front was Sweetenham. Tackles made. 3 or 4 blokes over it. Should be a ball up. 2.5 minutes left in quarter number 3 here at Newcastle number 1. Newcastle City up by 131 points. Ball up. Keast, right-handed. Barbecue smells wonderful. Over towards Crawford, who's on another one here. No, unselfish, gives it off to Haswell. It kicks the post. No, actually, he might have hit the umpire. He has. He's hit the goal umpire. Goal, Connor Haswell. Newcastle City up by 137 here. Not left in the third quarter. Lucas, one of the features today has been Newcastle City's, when they're running in from tight angles, have consistently squared it up and not gone the Larry Banana. Look, sometimes it's going to do it. Yep. They know this ground. It's big and it's wide and it's deep. And they're consistently doing unselfish things. It's no wonder they've got a good playing culture.
And that was the one thing I was going to turn to, which you spotted straight away, were the deep pockets here, David, and that's one aspect of it. Yep. Having the sense of mind to do it every single time has been a feature of their game for a number of years now, David.
Yep. Andrew Scott, who has not stopped. Neither has Alex Mitchell. Perfect delivery out there to Barnett. Actually, that's Andrew McPherson in 4. I recognise him because he coached women's last year. So 4 is Andrew McPherson, although it's not on our sheet. And Barnett's in 14. Scott, 60 metres out. He's got an option in his square if he wants him, and there's where he goes. Draper's just drifted into play. He's opened the play out to the fat side of the ground. Goes short. Now they're in trouble. No, he takes the mark. Brayshaw, I reckon. Almost 50. Brayshaw goes long, gets it in the scoring area. Lovely little shepherd on the side there given. Really clever by, I think, might have been Baker. And out they come. He's just got to keep that in and they're away. Handball comes down the line. He's perfectly accurate. That's going to go over the top. McDonald has not got good delivery today. Now he gets a chance. How can he deliver? Oh,
perfectly, I suggest.
Lovely subtle commentary from Lucas Holmes in the background. I'm as subtle as a sledgehammer. That was lovely from Lucas. Perfectly, I suggest. Connor Haswell running off a world-class sublime pass. Kevin McDonald inside out off his right foot. End of the third quarter. Haswell to put him up by 140 odd. I think he's pulled that, or has he kicked it?
I think he's just snuck it in the left-hand side.
Another goal, Connor Haswell. Haswell now has 4. Jackson Crawford's got 5. Newcastle City, 22 goals, 14. 146, Singleton, Tree behinds. Lucas Holmes and I will have a short break and be back with you for the final quarter here at Number One Sports Ground. Welcome back to Number One Sports Ground with Newcastle City well in front. Next week's games, run through for you. Gosford hosting Cardiff at Adcock. Turrigal can make the long trip to Nelson Bay. The local derby on Bar TV, Wong Lakes and Killarney Vale. Newcastle City here against Maitland at number 1. And Singleton and Warners Bay at Rose Point Park. Thank you, Lucas.
I'll just go to the women's as well while we're at it. That's this week. This is next week.
Women's next week. Singleton hosting Port Stephens. Gosford hosting Cardiff. Wallsend, West Newcastle and Lake Macquarie. Nelson Bay and Warners Bay. Wong Lakes, Killarney Vale on Bar TV. That will be a cracker. Newcastle City hosting the entrance Baddo Bay here at number 1. And Muswellbrook. That is a big trip. Terrigal going everywhere. Nelson Bay and Muswellbrook on the same day. Terrigal head up to Muswellbrook. During this quarter, Lucas and I will be having a look at certain times at where we will see some potential finalists and final 6 finishes in a couple of grades and do the best we can. Quick score update.
Just some women's scores from today, David. I'll just go through them quickly. Maitland over Lake Macquarie. Terrigal Avoca over Nelson Bay. Here, Newcastle City winning a tight one over Killarney Vale, rather. Warners Bay over Port Stephens. Wild Lakes over Singleton. Muswellbrook and West Wallsend Newcastle was washed out. And Cardiff comfortably over Entrance Baddo Bay as well, David.
Thank you. So next week I'll have the women's fixture at 12 o'clock. Lucas Holmes will join me as he comes back from Singleton umpiring the plate for the Black Diamond Cup fixture at Tacoma with Wyong Lakes and Killarney Vale in a double header there on Bar TV. The week after that, May 18, representative football from the Pasterfield Complex at Cameron Park. AFL HEC versus South Coast in women's at 3 o'clock, followed by the men's game at 5 o'clock. Just about ready to go for the final quarter here. City up by 143. Lucas doing some counting. Just getting people off the ground on the far side. There's some people actually on the surface of the field over there, and they've been told to leave before we start.
That would be the delay.
Oh, so it's not that bad.
I didn't say otherwise, did I?
No, I'm just surprised. I saw it. Away we go. Brayshaw, who's been very earnest today, it's the best way to describe his game, got his hand on the football quite a lot. Quinlan. Mitchell Knight under close attention. That ball's not coming out. About 10 minutes in, Lucas, we'll have a bit if things are going okay, we'll have a quick chat about where we see the league going this year.
Have to, at some stage, decide on a Subway Morissette player of the match as well, David.
Good luck with that.
Yes.
Mitchell Knight. McPherson. Mitchell. Push out, really. Great mark, Andrew Scott. Finish it, Brayshaw. If you finish that, that's their first goal. Off a beautiful bit of work by Andrew Scott. Great work, Brayshaw. Will Brayshaw kick Singleton's first goal? Singleton 139, Newcastle City 22-14, 146. Lucas Holmes.
Bar TV Sports. Bar TV Sports, the specialist in live streaming and broadcasting of local sport, including AFL Hunter Central Coast. Bar TV Sports, making your game the main game.
And a correction to our score. Our score was incorrect by 1 behind. Thank you to Kendall for pointing that out. Newcastle City 22-15, 147. Singleton 139. Excuse me. As is sometimes the case here at number 1, extracting the football can take time. Where are your pies next week, Lucas Holmes?
I did look last night, and I can't remember off the top of my head. This is round
Must be
7
just
at the
about
moment.
to do a trip. Must be just about due to do some travelling.
Travelling.
We haven't done much.
Yeah,
this
we
year,
haven't.
the
I've got it here. I'll have a look. I have got it here. No, we have St Kilda round 9. We are. Oh, funny that we have Carlton next week, David.
On the day game on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Sydney hosting Essendon this Friday night at the magnificent Sydney Cricket Ground on May 10.
Your Giants travel to Melbourne to face Hawthorn as well, David. Sunday
Launceston
afternoon.
or Melbourne?
MCG.
Thank you.
Yep.
Baker.
What about that?
For the first time, some close attention.
What about that for a comeback last week? Hawthorn against Carlton.
Baker. Carlton should be kicking themselves. They were awful.
It's now UTAS Stadium, isn't it, down there at Launceston?
Yeah, the uncommercial name is York Park.
York Park.
It's been Aurora, but yes, it is.
Aurora,
There's
yeah.
two stadiums sponsored by University. University of Tasmania puts their money into Launceston, and the University of New South Wales sponsors what has always been known as Manuka Oval in Canberra, where that Giants game on is today between Giants and
where we were last year as well, David, for representative football.
Oh, it was a pleasure to be there. It wasn't a great result for us, but it was a pleasure being there.
It was.
With me good mate Lucas over here. It was another shared experience, my friend.
Well, sure.
As well, lurking. Did I get a touch there? I think off the ground. Crawford. Yeah, a little bit of foot candy, Jackson Crawford. Not for the first time. Newcastle City, 23 goals, 15, 153. Singleton, 139. Lucas, I'm going to enjoy some chief commentator's privilege here. Lucas, we're maybe about a third of the way through the season.
Yep.
Kendall's given us some questions here to talk about.
Yep.
We'll go to the Black Diamond Cup first.
Yep.
On air, can you see anybody getting into that triangle of Terrigal, Avoca, Newcastle City or Cardiff on grand final? Can anyone get into there?
The teams that could get there, I think they're two, in no specific order, Kalani Vale and Warners Bay, David.
Because one of those teams has got to get into the prelim final.
Yep.
With Warners Bay, those three were the preliminary finalists last year. Warners Bay actually gave a decent account of themselves at Adelaide Street before Terrigal Avoca's experience. And I think that game had a lot of effect on the grand final.
Well, they were closer, if not in front at halftime, Warners Bay, weren't they?
They were. And they had a day short rest, remember? Yes. The Sunday game. That's not happening this year. The finals, I'm guaranteed, are on Saturday. So, ducked his head, I thought. Continues on. I can't see one of the teams outside the top three making the grand final. Something extraordinary is going to happen, like a serious run of injuries.
Yes.
And Warners Bay, Kalani Vale happy to get a final close or near to home where they just come out and play out of their skin for one day and get themselves in.
Yep.
I don't think they've got the cattle yet. Beautifully unselfish play. Goal, Kevin McDonald. Kevin McDonald's third goal today. Newcastle City. 24-15, 159. Singleton 139. Newcastle City on the double century here. I can't, right now, it's just the depth that these teams, and when we talk about the plate for a minute, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
Cardiff, for mine, have stepped up. They've got good balance. They've lost a ruckman last week. He got hurt, Griffiths, but they're doing well without Andrew Walker playing. Griffiths went off in the first minute. We didn't actually see it. He came off and he got Marty Rumman, something. He just got a knee in the ribs. You wonder, Cardiff have improved. They're playing good football under Nick Tomlinson. They've got good fit players. The dawning of Isaac Hughes is another strike forward. Gives them some real weaponry. Very experienced back line. But whether they can come up, like this Newcastle City side, they're not being tested today, to be fair. No disrespect.
No, that's perfectly fine.
That game in 3 weeks will be, if Kendall asked me that question in 3 weeks' time when we've just called City and Cardiff at Pasterfield, then I could give you a lot more certainty this should be touched through, and is. Now there's a whistle come on here. I think it might be a free kick.
Now there's a consult between David Parsons and Christine Burrows.
It was carried through.
There's a shake of the head from Burrows.
I think it's a free kick to Andrew Scott.
Okay.
After this, Andrew Scott got dragged out of that. He was held off the ball.
Expect Scott.
So we'll come back to the conversation. Andrew Scott kicked Singleton's second goal of the match and indeed the quarter. Well deserved, Andrew Scott, who's been brilliant today. Newcastle City by 144 points.
And on that point, you were actually, sorry, David, you were just talking about Andrew Walker, actually, and on that point, I was speaking to him post Cup game on Anzac Day, and he was saying, I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but he in his opinion, he thinks the Cardiff plate ruckman is the youngster there. I can't remember. Keys, that's Keys. Big Cutton Keys, potential to be a very, very good player in their Cup side as well.
Called him in. That's the advantage of calling those 3 games in the one day. Although it's a bit tiring on their own voice. Keys played very well. And he makes second and third efforts. He doesn't just tap the ball out.
Yep.
Singleton putting up a bit of more of a fight in this quarter. Brayshaw has been close to their best player along with Scott and Mitchell. Scott, for once, has errant hands. That very rarely happens. Comes back and gets the ball. Tries to put Durbridge off. Can't do it. Over there, the Rawnsley. Hickson takes a good mark. Almost plays on.
Wonder if he'll look to centre this, and does.
With about a 16-metre kick to Mitchell. Andrew Scott, a diving slips catch. Yeah, so when we have called that Cardiff and Newcastle City game, Cardiff will have then played City and Turrigallovaca, so that's a real good judge.
Yep.
One away, one home. I think that Cardiff-Newcastle City game's got the potential to be an absolute blockbuster. I cannot wait to call it because they play really interesting football. They love running off halfback. Pasterfield's a lot bigger than here at number 1. And I just think it'll be an electric match. McPherson gets that ball up to the square. At the back. Off hands, Lucas. City 159, Singleton 116. Out towards Dwyer. Hands off to Batten from Baker. One bounce. McDonald's got the sit, and wisely done by Blanchfield. Blanchfield stayed down, Lucas, as you want your 5'7", 5'8" Rovers to do. And Kevin McDonald takes a good contested mark. So yes, it sounds a bit like Groundhog Day in our region that those 3 sides have been, but they are. They're the 3 best sides in the league. One of the things we're encouraged is to tell the things as we see them, to tell the truth. McDonald pulls that left. Newcastle City 24-16, 160, Singleton 16. So I think those 3 will be there, and Terrigal will be put under pressure once and failed.
Yep.
Let's have a look and see how they've all, and we can have a good look in the middle of that season, especially that game, and then just go and have a look from there. But it would be a miracle if those 3 sides didn't form the 2 grand finalists. A miracle. Pushed out of it, I thought, illegally. That's dragged back in. He could be in trouble. He was going to blow his whistle, didn't. Batten. Quinlan. They're trying their backsides off Singleton here. Well done, Thompson. He really did. Oh, that was Bray, sorry. Out towards Batten. Puts a fend on. Good smother. That's actually very good football. Singleton really coming in numbers. Those 3 will be those 2 of the grand finalists. Something extraordinary's got to happen. And not just one thing, but a series of things. Okay?
Yep.
On to the women's. Newcastle's, here we go. Jackson Crawford for about, I think he's missed that. He has. First time he's been errant today. On to the women's. Newcastle City have come into the mix today.
Yep.
That was a very good performance against Kalana Vale today.
Yep.
Tough tackling, well organised. And with Halverson and McDonald on the forward line, that's a totally different concept. I still think right now that Wyong Lakes are actually the favourites for the flag.
Yep.
After going through the agony of losing the grand final last year, they still don't score huge scores. But Ives and Murray are a dynamite ruck combination. Dynamite.
And Emily Bellman at the back after
Sarah Ball, the
yep.
abrasive Rachel Potts, Alexandra Pearce. There's just Elise Williams, Alana Nicholson. They've got all these players that can play, but are fully fit. And we've spoken to Rebecca last year when she was gone.
Yes, yep.
When we called away goes Singleton, he's had a long run here. Gets it off hands to McPherson. They're poor hands. In come Newcastle City. Mitchell Knight, here's the turnover. Sweetenham from 40. Doesn't help Keese with the delivery, and that's out of bounds. It's at full strength. It's a very, very good football side, and they will shut you down. Killarney Vale will learn from today. They are missing Edwards, their new gun recruit. They will learn. Georgia Butler didn't play today. Newcastle City stepped right into the frame. Cardiff a very good man coming.
Yep.
Coming. Keast out of the ruck. Misses to the side. 1-6-2-16. Cardiff, Maitland as well. Maitland good. So you've got to. I can't tell. I still think right now that Wine Lake's the favourites, but it's very early.
Yep.
And next week's Wine Lake's Killarney Vale.
It's going to be ripper.
Holy cow! Killarney Vale have got to score. They've got to be more organised in the forward line.
Yep.
Especially against
Against
a shutdown
Wyong, yep.
defensive side like the Lakes.
Yep.
But right now, I would suggest to you that Lakes are favourites, but there's some teams underneath it that are putting their hand up saying, we want to be part. Cardiff, Newcastle City, Maitland, Killarney Vale, those sort of sides. Then, onto the plate. Well, plate's a bit harder to judge, but you would think that Terrigal-Avoca and Newcastle City, again, I know it's boring, but they've got, and Cardiff, they've got the depth. They've got the depth.
Yep.
It'd be nice to see good mark there in defence from Bray in 21. It'd be nice to see teams like the standalone clubs, Lake Mac, Muswellbrook, TEBB, get into the six. And, I'm very hopeful for Muswellbrook and Moores and West Newcastle's case that their post-game game gets replayed. I don't know what will happen there.
Yeah.
But again, we saw that Terrigal-Avoca side that won the plate grand final last year would have made the top six in the cup.
Oh, yeah.
I'm absolutely convinced of it. All right. And look, Killarney Vale were okay today. They tried their backside off, and it was a solid game. But Newcastle City always had it.
Did they have any out this morning, or was it just was City too good?
City too good.
Yep.
Too good. That I know of. They had players coming back because they lost a few, as they usually do, to Grooven. They lost a few first graders last week to Grooven and Moose.
Yeah.
Again, I find that coming from a football part of the world that I do, I find it astonishing.
Yep.
I find it astonishing that people would miss first grade footy for a music festival. I've always said that, but when you see how big Grooven is.
Yep.
This is Sweetenham. So for mine, certainly Terrigal-Avoca and Newcastle City Cardiff in both plate and cup.
Yep.
And the women's is really open. Short ball. McDonald marks that. It's been called touched, has it?
No, he's just been paid late.
Now, wonder if McDonald, who's a natural right footer, will go Stevie J here. God, he's a big man. Look at him. He's going to go side on. He's thinking about it. Now he's going to turn around.
And it's 50 metres.
I think he's actually kicked the goal.
No, he's been paid for 50 metres. Okay, sorry.
He's missed it. So, no. He was paid, and the umpire stopped the clock. So, there you go.
For the man trying to protect the run around being inside the 10 metre. So that will be another goal to Kevin McDonald when he puts this through.
So just waiting for McDonald to go through the motions here.
Before
McDonald, that's 4 to him. Newcastle City 25-18, 168, Singleton 2-4-16. But I think the most open competition is the women's competition.
Yep.
With Nelson Bay dropping out of the pack, you've got all these sides. The other side that will put pressure on again, the Sixers, Terrigal-Avoca. They're coming fast. All right.
Morgan Ross,
Danica.
Yep.
There's some good players. But yes, I reckon the Magpies are pretty much guaranteed to make it the prelim final.
Yep.
But from there, we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's going to be, and we'll, the weight, as I said, in Newcastle City full strength, having Halverson there. When you get Halverson, like Halverson and Ferguson come back today, there's 2 grand finalists, multiple grand finalists. It makes a big difference.
And from what I saw today, Ferguson played predominantly forward of the football as well.
She played about 2.5 quarters on the ball in a row.
Okay.
Ralston interchanged, and then Ralston finished the game off.
Okay, that's when I was here. So.
That's right, yeah.
Hence why that comment was made.
Yeah, and Kirsty Ferguson walking underneath us after having played netball next door. So that's where I'm at with it, Lucas.
I'm happy. Yep.
And again, cannot wait to see rep football next week, in 2 weeks' time. Anthony Baker straight down the field. McDonald, that just had the slightly iffy hands, comes back and fights for it. Gets held into him. And ball up. 17 minutes gone last quarter. Newcastle City up by 152. Yes, score checks, please. Baker, Haswell on his left. Isn't lace out to Triffett. Unusual for Connor. Very good use of both sides of his body. All the other games are pretty much done and dusted. Lucas is pressing the match centre for us for Warners Bay and Gosford at Fayette.
That was the same score as it was when we last checked, so I don't know what's happened here.
You might want to just go back or refresh. I'll keep Colin the footy here. Handball goes backwards. Back to Haswell, goes back again. Creates a spare man. Crawford off one step. Underneath it, there's a Falcon. Brayshaw, that's dangerous going open side. Picked off by Bowyer. It's a week in advance, Lucas. Bowyer out wide. Woodhams. 5. Still 50, according to our match in here. We'll wait for that, and now it's coming live. McDonald behind. Good mark. Is that Draper or is it Mitchell? Courageous in front by Pup Mitchell.
Okay, that is 3/4 time. That's why there's been no movement in the scores at Fane Oval, David, with Warners Bay still up by 13 points.
It doesn't sound right to me that it's a 3/4 time.
No, but that's what it's got here.
Okay.
So,
Play continues here. McPherson over the shoulder. Man in front. Hello, Paul. How are you, sir? New South Wales Country Cricket Chairman Paul Marjoribanks joining us at number 1. Andrew Scott, who's been brilliant today in a badly beaten side, showed his quality, has not stopped trying, has got a lot of the ball. Baker and Rawnsley out there, the 1-2 combination. One bounce, Rawnsley. She runs his full measure. Good marks. That Haswell, yeah, Connor, that's almost 50. Got great springs for a man who's 5'10", 5'11". Knight. Been good football for a long time. Won a league best and fairest, Mitchell Knight. McDonald's right on his distance, Lucas James. There, I reckon that's Crawford sitting in the hole, or is this Blanchfield? No, I think that might be Blanchfield this time.
Yep.
Is Lucas at the end of this kick? Can we have a score check from the MCG and from Monica, please? Blanchfield will kick from about 40. Goes close to the man on the mark. Yeah, the man on the mark did that really, really well. He actually disguised where he was. And as a result, the kick is tugged left. Giants up by 34 at Royal Monica, 96-62. And what a game of fluctuating fortunes in Melbourne. Hawthorn up by 2 points over the Demons. MCG that game or Marvel? They're co-tenants, so I think it will be MCG. There's a game at Marvel tonight. It's definitely there. So.
Okay, yep. Funny that, the Dogs and the Tigers at Marvel Stadium tonight, as there is at Fane Oval at the moment.
Indeed, Dogs and Tigers.
Jack Rewald out of course.
Yeah, he's MCL, I think.
Yes.
I think he's MCL out for a while.
And got done at the Tribunal as well last week, which they challenged for some particular...
It cost him $500. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Scott got about 7 blokes on him at the moment. Good tackle, Scott, on Bowyer. Or is he gone for over the shoulder? Yeah, he has. Non-controlling umpire called that one. Bowyer comes wide. Triffett's made space and off comes Dwyer for him. Will he use him? He won't. There's a lot of time. Goes centrally. Batten. Now goes wide. Woodhams with the sideshow bob haircut. Comes wide. Time. Sting's gone right out of this game. Up towards Hasball. Left-hand handball superb. And Triffett seats someone right up in the pocket. Is it Crawford? It is. Don't be surprised to see him run around. And he's missed. He's hit the post, Lucas Holmes. Newcastle City 25-19, 169. Singleton 2-4-16. 22 minutes gone last quarter. The Sting's gone right out of this game. Singleton have actually had a real crack in this last quarter. But it's been a tough old day for the Chooks. They'll look forward to getting home next week. That's going to be a good game of football, Singleton and Warners Bay. That'll be an interesting day up there.
It will be.
Slices the kick slightly. Off towards Scott and takes a very difficult mark. Max Quinlan not happy, but Scott got second dibs at that.
Whilst we're on the topic of conversations, David, with only a few minutes left, we're going to have to try and figure out a Subway Morissette player of the match.
Yeah, Crawford strikes me as being one.
Straight away, yep.
Crawford certainly.
Anthony Baker's been decent as well.
Oh, well, when is he not?
Yeah, true.
In fact, he's off at the moment. I was wondering why I hadn't been calling his name.
True. Hazel's been serviceable.
Mitchell Knight.
Dwyer's been good. Durbridge to a point.
Off goes Rawnsley, left-hand handball, Durbridge. It's a training clinic at the moment. Looking for players to hit. Basson. Goes to that driving left foot, straight down the spine. 1-on-3 back here. Singleton trying to... Good tackle on Draper, actually. Yes, Lucas, I agree. That was a chuck. Draper again misses it. Sweetenham. They're under so much pressure every time they get the football. McDonald might have a free kick here. No, he doesn't. 90 seconds to go. I'm happy with Crawford, actually.
Yep.
Jackson Crawford is the Subway Morissette man of the match. The women's player of the match was Maddie Norton from Newcastle City, so a good day for the City players. Sweeping handball comes right. Dwyer. Chance from there, Liam. And he's kicked it, I reckon. Goal, Liam Dwyer. Newcastle City 26-19, 175. Singleton 2-4-16.
A few handy inclusions for that Newcastle City women's side, David. The Norton sisters, Molly Simpson. It's not bad.
They're pretty handy recruits. There's three, particularly Madison and Annalise, I think, is coming back to fitness. But Madison and Molly Simpson into your side. Madeline at centre half back. Molly Simpson, who's just a uber athlete. They're big recruits. Big recruits. They make a difference. And when you get Halverson and McDonald, you start to get 5 of the top 20 players in the league playing one side. Infraction now. If that's a Singleton infraction, it's a Newcastle kick because they've had their warning. That I can't understand.
Nor can I.
Because they haven't had their warning. Anyway, it's right at the end of the game.
And if it was off the ball, it'd be at the spot of the free kick too, so it would have had to have been of centre square nature.
Yes, mate, you're right. Anyway, it's one of life's little mysteries. Quinlan, full time. Newcastle City, 26 goals, 19, 175. Singleton, 2-4-16. Subway Morissette player of the match is Jackson Crawford for a simply superb display where they ran around untouched all day. Not much more to say from here. We look forward to being with you next week. Wine Lace and Killarney Vale from Don Small Oval in Tacoma Women's and Black Diamond Cup games down from there. With thanks to Kendall Clawson from Bar TV. My great man here, Lucas Holmes. Lucas, thank you for your company today.
Thank you very much, David. I shall catch yourself, David, and everybody else on Saturday afternoon.
Can't wait for that. Thanks to Jack Monaghan for helping us out in the plate fixture. On behalf of Kendall, Jack and Lucas Holmes, I'm David Redden. It's a very good afternoon from Newcastle, #1 Sports Ground.